See that house right there? I own that house and I built it a couple years ago. It's really nice inside. It's 2,300 square feet, 5 bedroom, 4 baths. It's got a brand new ADU, 2 bedroom, 1 bath, 800 square foot unit behind it. But this was a flipper's nightmare. I'm gonna tell you why. See, when I bought that house, I didn't buy a house intending to knock it down. I didn't buy an empty lot. I bought a house that needed some renovation, but it had new floors, it had brand new drywall, it had new trim, it had new doors. I bought a house that was primarily fixed up. I knew it needed a little bit of structural repair in the crawl space, but I never thought that I would find what I found. You see, we were just intending to do about $100,000 renovation, opening up the floor plan for a new kitchen and redoing the baths and maybe putting a new roof on it, and that was gonna be it. But then I got a call one day from my project manager, and it's the kind of call you never wanna get in the real estate business. And he called and said, "Blake, we got a problem over here. When the demo contractor started opening up that center wall, they found fire damage. What do you want us to do?" I said, "Fire damage? Does it look like it's been repaired, or is this just a couple of fire damaged studs that have been left in the wall?" He said, "No, there's major fire damage and we don't know where it stops." I said, "Well, we're gonna have to find the end of it. So keep pulling out the drywall until we can find out how far it goes." Well, it took a few more days and it seemed like the fire damage never stopped. And by the time we were done doing the demo, all the drywall was removed, and what we found was a structure that wasn't even worth keeping. We ended up having to knock this thing down and build a brand new house. Now, the house we built is super nice. Like I say, it's 5 bedroom, 4 bath. It's beautiful. And the people that live there absolutely love it. But that's not the way I wanted that deal to go down. You know, I'm wondering if you've ever had one of those situations where you bought a house and it involved so much more work than you thought on the front end. And what we found was a project that really was like the straw that broke a camel's back. And we stopped looking for rehab houses full of problems, and we started looking for land that we could build new construction on. And so stick with me in this video. I'm gonna tell you the reasons why I've fully embraced new construction and I don't look for old rehab houses to renovate and sell. Hey, I'm Blake Anderson with Envision Investor Solutions, and I help real estate investors make the transition from fix and flipping to new construction and land development. You know, 4 of the reasons why we made that switch was in new construction, we found control, we found predictability, we found scalability, and we found market value. You know, it's one thing I have so much more of with new construction is control. I mean, how many old houses have you bought where the floor plan just isn't what buyers want today and you had no control over it? You just had to take what you got and you had to try to make it work. I mean, there's so many houses that we had to make work, but they weren't ideal. Now, you know, when we were doing things back in 2019, 2020, 2021, there was low inventory in the housing market. It didn't matter. We sold a house that was fixed up and it sold, but nowadays buyers have options. And they want something that fits their lifestyle now. And I'm gonna tell you what, if the house was built over 30 years ago, then it was designed for a life that people don't live anymore. You know, we found predictability in new construction that we never had when we were renovating and flipping homes. I mean, I can't tell you the number of stories that we bought old houses and we found rot, we found termites, we found all kinds of things that blew our budget and eroded our profit margin. It made me think of the client that we served not too long ago to renovate a house that he was gonna flip. And I told him on the front end, you know, I can help you. We have a great team that knows what they're doing, but we're so much better when we build new construction. And I'd advise you to look for new construction opportunities as well. But he already bought this deal and he got it for a good price in a really nice area. And we had this thing looking great. The problem was he bought the house in a drought. And just about the time we were finished with the house, it rained like we hadn't rained in a while, and the whole basement flooded. 1,000 square foot of basement, brand new everything, and it flooded. And so then not only did we have to tear out what was damaged, we had to waterproof the outside of the foundation because it was an old house and it had never really been done. And so he's got all this extra cost that completely eroded his profit margin. And the last time I checked, I think he's going to make out even. Now that's a really best case scenario after we found that out. I expected that he might lose a lot, but I think he got a good offer and he can show that everything was repaired. But you see, it's just not predictable like when I built something new. We build something new and we know what we're going to get. We know what the floor plan's going to be, what the finishes are going to be. We know pretty close what the costs are going to be before we even start. And you just don't have that predictability when you buy these old houses that have damage and problems that you've never even found and you may not find until after you own it and after you start renovating it. Now, the next thing we found that made us fall in love with new construction is really obvious now, but you know what? We really didn't even see it coming when we started building new construction, and that's the scalability. We found a scale with new construction that dwarfs what we were able to accomplish when we were rehabbing homes. You see, rehabs, everything is custom. Every project is new. Every project is different. And there's nothing scalable about that level of complexity. But when we started building new construction, we could buy a single piece of property, subdivide it, and build multiple units on it. We had a set of building plans that all the subcontractors could look at and could use and could build exactly what we said from the beginning. When we were rehabbing homes, as you probably know, we had to be on site all the time, directing every step of every contractor who would be working there because they always found something new and the plan was always changing. And so if you feel like you've kind of hit this limit of scale, like there's only so many projects your contractors can do, there's only so much bandwidth, you have to look at these deals and do the estimating and be on site, then you might want to look to new construction, because where we used to rehab maybe 2, 3, 4 houses a month, we can build 10, 12, 20 houses at any given time because of the scalability of new construction. You know, a fourth reason, but certainly not the final, I mean, I could probably spend the next couple hours going on about what I love about new construction and how it's changed our business. We pivoted from rehabs to new construction. Is just the market value and the confidence you have when you put something on the market. I mean, I think anybody who's flipped a house has had that queasy feeling when you listed it and you know you're asking for top dollar, but you know there's some awkward things about this old house that you don't know if a buyer in 2025 will resonate with. Now they've got options, and it seems like the national builders are building brand new product for less than you can rehab a house for right around the corner, and you know you can't compete. But when you build new construction, there's just this marketability and market value. New construction homes are going to sell for a premium, they're going to sell quicker, and buyers just want something new. They know they're not going to have the headaches, they know that they're the first one that lived in it, they know that things aren't going to fail, they've got some expectation that they won't have to put aside reserves. And if for my rentals, numbers are a little different on the front end when I build to rent, but I'll tell you what I don't have to worry about. I don't have to worry about the roof leaking. I don't have to worry about the water heater failing. I don't have to worry about the HVAC failing and having to get all that fixed and wondering, did I set enough aside to cover that? I mean, it only takes one of those repairs a year to erode all your cash flow for the entire year. And there's just predictability and just marketability when you build new construction. All right, so if you've agreed with anything I've said, you're probably thinking, okay, what do I do next? What do I do now? Well, let me give you 4 steps so that you can start making that transition. You can start making that shift from being a rehabber who's always worried about what you're going to find behind that next wall and what's going to blow your budget and what's the unforeseen that's going to ruin your profit margin, to being a new construction builder and land developer who's got predictability, scalability, and control over the process. So step number 1, you got to change your mindset. You got to start thinking differently and looking for different things. You're no longer looking for the houses that are missing the electric meters and have uncut grass. You're looking for things so bad you want to run. You're looking for knockdown houses, unused land. If you keep following my channel, I'm going to give you some specifics on how we subdivide property and how we maximize property. But you're looking for different things now as you begin to change your mind. Step number 2, you got to learn the process. Listen, you're going to have to learn how to develop, build, fund, and scale. You're going to have to learn how to set the right strategy. You're going to have to learn how to evaluate property, how we analyze deals, how we plan our projects, and then how we get it through entitlements so that we can ultimately build something new. And that's a process that we lay out and we teach investors through our online training community. If you check the link below, you can sign up. I'm giving away our first course, Develop, where we learn exactly what I just laid out. The strategy behind land development, new construction, the ability to evaluate a deal, to analyze it for profitability, to plan it, and finally get it through entitlements so that you can build something new. This 5-step process will lead you to success, and it's the process you're gonna need to learn so that you can train your mind to do different things and you can start looking for different opportunity in the marketplace. Your third step is you're gonna have to build a team. I know you got a team now, but it's gonna need some different players on that team. You're not gonna hire your handyman or your painter to knock down a house and build you something new. Your team is gonna be filled with your agent, might be the same agent, but it's gonna be your agent, it's gonna be your surveyor, it might be a civil engineer, definitely gonna need an architect, and you're gonna need a builder, and you might need a different lender. You're gonna have to adjust this team for success, and if I could give you some pointers, I'd go get involved in your local REIA, your Real Estate Investors Association. I'm very active in my local REIA. I'm in a mastermind of builders and developers, and we're still resourcing together to perfect our teams, to learn from each other, to continue to grow in our real estate careers. So join your local REIA and get involved. Meet the people who are already doing what you're doing. Chances are they have the team that you need to start calling on. And step number 4 might be my important piece of advice for you is start small. Don't think about 20-acre deal that you're going to subdivide and build a big neighborhood on. Don't even think about an 8-unit townhome complex or building. Don't bite off more than you can chew. If you've never done new construction before, start small. Build a single house. Buy a build-ready lot. Buy a knockdown house where there's already water and sewer available. Or maybe you've got a rental property that you can put an ADU in the back where you have an extra unit to rent, but you also learn how the process works. Even an ADU begins to get you exposed to the new construction process and also some of the early steps of land development. So don't get too big, start small, build with every deal as you learn more and more and more. So if you're a flipper and you're frustrated about some of the deals you've had recently and maybe the money you didn't make, trust me, I know how you feel. We flipped a lot of homes and we got really good at flipping homes. But man, when we found new construction, we found a level of control that we didn't have with those homes. We found a predictability in new construction. We found scalability. We are building so many more homes than we ever flipped. And then finally, we started creating a product we were proud of, one that the market really valued. And there's the premium that we started getting on those deals. Yes, it's a different game with different steps, new things to learn, new team to build, and a new process. But it's worth it. You might find greener pastures in your real estate career when you add new construction and land development to your investing toolkit. If I can help you, hit me up with a DM, let me know. Hey, if you came across this video by chance and you liked what you saw, hit the like and subscribe. Help me continue to build this platform to help other investors just like us continue to learn new things and increase our network and our net worth.